And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Line to Gain, presented by Rally Towel Sports. I'm Corey. With me, as always, is Todd. Wait, and Bobby. There he is. Good evening, gentlemen. Bobby,
Hello,
welcome
hello.
back from your
Thank
journey
you.
down to the Queen City. How was your holiday excursion?
Oh, it was good, man. Santa was good. Got to see some family. Played a lot of euchre. Whooped a lot of ass. It was everything you could ask for.
Love euchre.
I
One of the
love it.
greatest drinking games that isn't a drinking game.
Oh, it's totally a drinking
You play
game.
for money?
Nothing,
No. Just we just play for the ass whooping, crown.
nothing brings a family closer than the most competitive card game that you can play.
Bro.
So yeah,
Johnny.
that's a fair point. I would argue I'd counter that with Monopoly.
No, that's banned in
No,
our house.
nothing tears a family apart quicker than a game
Right.
of
That's why I said
Monopoly.
card game and not just game in general.
Yeah,
That board, you play Monopoly as a family.
No.
That's where Christmases become
there's
separated.
a Louis C.K. bit about Monopoly, like playing with his daughters and like, yeah, see,
Yes.
honey, everything that you've worked for all the whole night, that's all mine now, and I'm gonna use it to bury your sister.
Yes.
So
That is a great Louis C.K. Other than just being a gross human being in his prime,
yeah.
he was pretty funny.
One of
Yeah,
my
he,
That
favorite
shit.
comedians of all time is Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Even
He
if
had
he's a
his
weirdo, I don't care. He's hilarious.
his show that he had was
Louis,
awesome.
it was a
Yes.
gem. It was a gem.
Louis, 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 Louis.
So I got two more Decembers left on the Advent calendar. One, I'll have them both tonight, hopefully. This one though is First Carl. I don't know. First Carl is how I would read it. An unfiltered beer, it looks like. So I don't know how I'm going to react to this. There's only been one of these 24 beers so far that I've been just like, ugh, the whole time. And this one is from Ellingen, Germany. So let's see what the Deutschland people have to offer here.
uh,
Not bad. Smooth,
What is it?
refreshing.
What is an unfiltered beer?
I don't
I
know.
was gonna ask the same thing.
I could act like I know. Maybe one of our stout viewers who are piling into the stream in hordes tonight could let us know what an unfiltered beer is.
And
But
don't
it's
just say it's a beer without a filter,
yeah,
because
it's just we'll ban
I'll
you.
leave. I'll
Well,
leave.
Todd
I'll
will,
leave.
he'll quit the show tonight.
I'll
Wow,
quit the podcast and
that's
then come back
aggressive.
on Tuesday.
It's like guys, I had a change of heart.
Come out of retirement.
He'll put something. I have for mental health reasons. I have to step away from the podcast.
Yeah. And then Tuesday will be my flu game.
And then I'll be
It's a
back.
magical. It's a
Yeah,
magical
I mean,
experience.
Todd will drop so much knowledge Tuesday. It's just absolutely insane.
Oh
Um,
shit.
Sorry. What are you looking for? It's in my book bag. Sorry. Being asked things. Anyway, what was it? What were we talking about? Flu
What's your
game.
name?
Yeah.
Lanolin? Lanolin?
Lanolin.
Sheep's wool.
All right. So, do we want to get it? Just go ahead and get in it. There's no game tonight, which I
Yeah.
learned literally 30 seconds after I posted the stream tonight. There's no football game. I even texted my pick in to the guy that runs our pick'em league already. Just I was like, oh, okay, I know this one, and send it in, and I'm an idiot. So
Nah. I wouldn't call you
no,
an idiot.
I what did I tell you? What did I tell you guys like 3 days ago? I said my brain is done until 2022. It's just
Yeah, you shut her down, and then on January 2nd, it's a whole new you. New year, new you.
yeah, that makes sense. Because January 1st, I can't be expected to be competent or a father or a husband or anything that matters. Day of recovery, day of
You're just
rest.
gonna be a piece of shit laying on the couch watching
That's your-
college football.
More
That's
than
your-
likely. More than likely. Speaking
Yeah,
of college
that's your black hole
football,
day.
we got a lot of college football tomorrow, and I'm excited to talk
Hell yeah,
about
we
that
do.
tonight, hopefully. So, should we kind of recap week 16 and then get into this?
Yeah, we didn't do picks last week, guys. So we not only took the podcast off last week, we completely forgot to do picks. So
We were spending time with friends and family, and I told all our viewers on Tuesday, and I'll reiterate this: it's not that we didn't care about you or we weren't thinking about you, but we weren't thinking about you and we didn't care. That's what it was.
It's true.
Oh, I'm silly. I'm on vacation. You guys on vacation? Do you have to work tomorrow? Anybody?
Nope.
no, I'm off.
Oh, cheers to that, boys.
Tell you what, if I wasn't in this new job, I would be working tomorrow and New Year's Day and the day after.
But guess
so,
the fuck what? You ain't.
guess
So
what?
you're not.
You're damn right.
So proud of you.
We're so proud of Todd. We're just so proud of him.
Thank you.
I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, I'm just so proud of Todd. I'm so proud of him.
I feel that.
I feel it in my loins every morning.
I feel it.
Todd, I did something tonight after work that I know that you're going to appreciate.
Oh God.
So after waking up at the ass crack and getting to a job site, and not eating or drinking, consuming anything for 10 hours, I did what any Cincinnatian would do after
Start
a long,
drinking.
shitty day of work. No.
Oh.
What's
No, you
Skyline?
hit Skyline. Yeah, fuck yeah, you do.
I got 2 cheese conies, a 3-way, and a chili cheese fry.
Oh, wowzers.
And it's all gone.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel?
I feel fantastic.
How did you feel?
Great. After
You know,
I ate.
I get solid concrete in my gut after a large portion of Skyline. And I know that going in, and I still eat it because I really, one, hate myself, and two, just really enjoy the taste.
It's
So
true.
there's that.
I ate Skyline yesterday, believe it or not.
Just fucking
Nice.
rub it in, boys. You want to just keep going?
Sorry, man. Yeah, I
It's
had
okay.
6
I had
cheese
I had
cutties
some
and
when I
Toledo,
was
so
down in Cincy for Christmas. I
Yeah.
had some Skyline. I got my fix.
Good for you.
I gave Katie the credit card to go shopping. I said, just you better bring me home some Skyline when you bring that sweet ass on back home.
You do anything. Bring me back Skyline.
You can drain the bank account. Just make sure that you have $17.34 available for the Skyline.
If that Mountain Dew is not a large, so help me Jesus.
I love that I don't know if you guys experienced this. Well, I guess you did because we probably all went to the same Skyline growing up. I love that a Skyline is always conveniently located next to a convenience store.
Yeah.
So if you don't dine in and you can't get your Mountain Dew or Diet Dew while eating,
Sure.
you go to the gas station and you get 2 dews for $2
And a Pepto and
Yeah.
some potential backup toilet paper. Whatever.
Yeah.
However your Crohn's disease works, they have you covered, really.
It's true. It's true.
Oh shit.
Literally, yeah. Oh shit. All right. So, do we want to recap any of these games from last week? Anything that we want to particularly cover? Do we just want to get into this week? I think I'm almost of the opinion. Let's just get into this week's picks.
I'd like to hear the records if that's an option.
Oh yeah, let's recap on where we stand currently.
There are a couple games that I would like to touch on from week 16, if that's all right. I don't want to talk about them
Tickle
all.
me pink. Let's go.
The first game that I would like to discuss will benefit you guys greatly is the ass whooping that the Ravens got by the Bengals.
Oh yes. So Bobby, we kind of talked a little bit about it on Tuesday. I'm interested in your thoughts and all, including thoughts on the game and all of the postpartum that has seemed to have occurred for the entire national media and Baltimore, Greater Maryland area.
So PSA, I was absolutely wasted on Tuesday when I tuned in.
Good for you.
I don't remember everything that you guys talked about, so my apologies for that.
It's probably a good.
Apology accepted for that. I accept that.
Yeah, Josh and I were just throwing down euchre. We beat my aunt, my uncle. Of the 12 games that we played, Josh and I won 9.
Yikes!
So just on fire.
It's a long
Anyways,
night.
Lord.
Playing the 10 every time.
Yeah,
that's a long night.
It was between a couple days.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, I think the one thing that I saw today that was kind of hilarious to me was Bart Scott's reaction to Joe
So
Burrow,
glad you brought this up.
which I don't think we've
Yeah.
had an opportunity to talk about.
No.
No, we have not. But
he-
I want to hear Bobby's opinion, and then I want to hear Corey's opinion. And if there's anything that you guys missed, I'll chime in.
Great.
I just want to say to Bart Scott, if you're that butthurt about it, throw some pads on. Like,
So
go out there and try to stop him. I mean,
so for those of you
dude's
that
put on a
don't
show.
know, for those of you that didn't see what Bart what Bart Scott said, and we'll kick it back to you, Bobby, real quick. But Bart Scott essentially said that Joe Burrow has poked the Bears. Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor and basically the Bengals have poked the Bear being the Ravens, and that Cincinnati is not anything to be taken seriously. The Baltimore Ravens are. They're a cultural winner. The Bengals are not. You know, he witnessed Carson Palmer and Andy Dalton coming in, both of which, by the way, had winning records against the Ravens. But coming in and revamping the franchise, so he's not worried about Joe Burrow. But now Joe Burrow has a red dot on his head, and that they will be coming after him. So, Bobby, please continue with your thoughts on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, okay, he's. I mean, what quarterback isn't targeted in the AFC by another AFC team, right? You know, it's nice to see somebody the youngest quarterback in the division just come up with a huge pair of balls and challenge everyone and say, "This is my division. I'm going to own it." That sucks for me as a Steelers fan, but let's be real. He's got 2 1,000 receiving yard receivers under the age of 25. That's not an accident. And Tyler Boyd's pretty close too. So
yeah, about 200 and change, 208, I believe. Is
he
all
has
that's
2 good
left.
games. He might be able to get it. If you can have 3 1,000, I would be curious to see how many quarterbacks had 3 1,000 yard receiving wideouts in the history of the NFL. That'd be an interesting stat, which I don't have. But
yeah, I mean, my whole issue with it is like the blatant admission that essentially when Bart Scott played for the Baltimore Ravens, he's basically saying that, yeah, while I was there, we would have bounties on guys. The organization supported us taking out quarterbacks. They taught us how to tackle quarterbacks. And Bart Scott made comments like, we're going to go after his head. We're going to go after his neck. We're going to tackle him, wrap his arms. So for those of you that don't know what he means by saying we're going to wrap his arms, it means so that when he goes to the ground, he can't brace himself and his head bounces off the fucking turf like a bouncy ball, and then he's concussed. So, yeah, I mean, Bart Scott is essentially absolutely
a walking pile of trash.
Well, not only that, but I mean, it just where did he come from? He didn't just get that, right? It's an institutionalized thought process that he got from playing with the Ravens, apparently.
Well, I would say that was long. That ideology was long before the Ravens in caps. You know.
No. Yeah, and I'm not saying the Ravens are the only one that do that. But I love it. I mean, honestly, like had this happened with. Like Andy Dalton, for instance, at quarterback, I would be like, oh, man, like they're going to come after him. In my opinion, I think the opposite effect has just happened. Yep. I think that you, Bart Scott, have poked the bear. Like Joe Burrow's the last fucking guy that needs to have any more of a chip on his shoulder.
That dude torched you twice this season, and you want to go out there and keep talking shit?
Well, not only that, like he plays pissed off all the time. Like, he is constantly pissed off. Since he's been at LSU, he's like, doubt me. I dare you. Yeah. I dare you.
He has always had an enormous chip on his shoulder. Always. Since his transfer from Ohio State to LSU, he has played every snap with a chip on his shoulder.
He wasn't good enough to start at OSU.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it serves him very well. I mean, he plays almost better
Probably
that way.
The best thing that ever happened to him, to be honest.
I mean, and when he gets, and sometimes, like, you know, I myself have like a personal, like, I'm not as confident as Joe Burrow, obviously. So when I hear him, like, for instance, back in college, they showed him a picture of himself when he was a child and said, you know, what would you tell this kid, you know, growing up? I'd say, you know, he looks like a national champion. That's something that he said before they played against Clemson and absolutely, you know,
waxed him
in the national championship game. And so when he said that, I was like, Whoa. Pump the brakes there, Joe. Come on, a little bit, because
Right.
I'm used to quarterbacks needing to be the more like, I'm used to hearing that out of like a wide receiver or a defensive back. You know what I mean? Not used to hearing that out of a mouth of a quarterback. But I mean, every time Joe does it, it's just like, yeah,
Yeah,
this is
it's
who I
crazy.
am, and this is what I do, and when I mess up, I'm going to tell you I messed up, and I'm going to get better for it. And I don't know. I think that Bart Scott has just made a crucial error, continuing to give Joe Burrow bulletin board material.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
I think just to put a little bow on it here, um, Bart Scott is kind of a coward for the way that he spoke, the way he spoke publicly like that.
Mm,
After the Ravens lost,
yeah,
right? After they've gotten swept by the Bengals this
right.
year and swept handedly, right? It's not like either game was close. The Bengals tapped that ass twice and threw all over them, regardless of if they had practice squad guys out there or not. They beat them twice handedly. So it's, to me, it's a cowardly move because it's just a guy. It's the ideology of the tiger that gets cornered. It's going to claw itself out, right? It's going to work harder to get out of the corner. So Bart Scott, as a Ravens alumnus, is backed into his corner. So now he's clawing his way out by being outspoken and saying that Joe Burrow is doing all these things. When in reality, I think Bobby even said it, like, if you're a good quarterback, there's always a target on you.
Yeah.
You're always public enemy number one for whatever team you play.
Absolutely.
And him saying, oh, back when I played, we used to go after their head, go to the neck, blah, blah, blah. Yes, everybody knows that, Bart Scott. They've been doing this since like the fucking 50s. Of course, that's the way that defenses play. And the fact that you're saying that doesn't make you tough, and it doesn't make you really defend Baltimore either. It just makes you seem ignorant, honestly. I just felt like he was speaking very ignorantly when he was talking about this.
Yeah, it wasn't great. So
No, and I think another funny thing is just like he said, the Steelers are our rival. Like the Bengals aren't their rival, apparently. Like they don't value that as a rivalry. And maybe it's because the Bengals have beaten them more than they've beaten us. I don't know.
Right?
Maybe that's the
Yeah.
reason. I don't know what to tell
Yeah.
you. But
Yeah.
and I saw another thing is like they posted the Tyler Boyd game-winning touchdown from like 2016, 2014, something like that. Andy Dalton last-minute touchdown, last game of the year to get the Bills in the playoffs. Maybe it was 2018. I'm not even 100% certain, but the question was, would you rather us beat you like this, Baltimore?
Burn. Throw a little sizzle on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Magical.
whatever.
All right. So to recap the standings, there has been a change at the top of the leaderboard chat. I'm still in the cellar. No change there. I'm in third place at 131 and 83. Mr. Corey James is in second place, one game back, 134 and 79. And Mr. Gottschall has taken the lead with 2 weeks left at 135 and 78.
Ooh.
I'll just have everyone remember that I was in last place, and I was slandered on this podcast.
Not true.
For being in last place.
Liable.
Slandered.
Liable.
Slandered, I say.
Yeah. Well, I wear the crown. So as of right now, I'm gonna do my best to try to claw my way out of it this week.
I can't wait till the three of us get together and eat as much Skyline as humanly possible.
Why can we
I'm
get
looking
like an
forward to.
actual meal, like adults, like grown men, and get like steaks and beer?
Let's go get some steaks and whiskey and shit.
Like, do we have to? Yeah, let's. You know what? Let's get dressed up and go to Taco Bell. How about that? Like that's what you're telling me right now. Like, let's get a dinner, you fucking Neanderthals.
Sorry, I don't know that lifestyle that well, so you're gonna have to introduce me to it.
Oh Lord!
All right,
let's get into the fucking picks. Hey, would you have taken the Patriots or the Bills last week? I just want to know that, Todd.
You know what? I actually would have taken a play out of your book because
you called it Corey, a couple weeks ago.
Made me believe that yes, the Patriots are going to beat them this time, but the Bills are going to beat them when it comes back around.
Thank you,
he
Bobby.
called
First
that like
of all,
5 weeks ago, chat.
First
You
of all,
did.
thank you. I did call that fucking 5 weeks ago, and it
You
feels really good.
You did. And
Yeah, as soon as I saw the
would've-
final score, I was like, that son of a bitch was right.
Fucking Rain Man.
I thought I thought that the whole entire time I was watching the game. I was like, this bastard knew exactly what he was talking
Son
about.
of a bitch.
You did it
You
again.
dirty dog. All right, first game, week 17. We've got the New York Football Giants on the road versus Joe Bears.
Where is Rob? Rob. Are
Robert
you here?
Meter.
Are you here, Rob? Because
Called you in the front of the classroom, sir.
Yeah, come on up. Yep, right here. And the Bears pulled off a nice win in some less than ideal conditions in Seattle. I picked Seattle to win that game in my pick'em pool. They proved me wrong, and I'm not going to bet against the Bears going against an equally, if not worse, team. I'm going to go with Chicago in this one.
Mr. Gottschall.
Is Big Dick Nick going to be the quarterback again?
Good
Nick
question.
Foles.
Yeah.
Does it matter? I think they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah. I just think that when Nick Foles just gets brought out of the mist, he just plays just a tad bit different.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
with that being said, I'm taking the Bears.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Actually, I didn't even think about it in that regard, but
Yeah, I'm taking the Bears as well. I don't have a lot of faith in Saquon this week.
He just
doesn't look
Nick
good.
Foles just plays different.
well, it's not
When
even
he's
that.
just-
I think isn't Daniel Jones out? Like, isn't
Yeah.
yeah?
Oh
so-
yeah.
Daniel Jones, no Kenny Galladay. Like, is it gonna be Slayton and Saquon? That's it.
And Tony.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Kadarius
Put it
Toney.
up. Yeah.
How many touchdowns does Kadarius Toney have this year?
0.
Thank you. Next.
All right, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars headed up to Foxborough.
I mean,
I don't think this is a.
no. This
Biggest
is
spread of the
We're all
week.
taking the path. Let's move on.
yeah.
Biggest spread of the week. This is 16 right now.
Yeah. We've got the LA Rams headed to Baltimore
Ooh,
to take on
huge
a
game.
disheveled Ravens team.
But a disheveled Ravens team that appears to be getting Lamar Jackson back, or they're at least trying to get him back. He showed up at practice yesterday with a noticeable limp on the field. And did anyone see the video of Lamar Jackson out there? Did you guys see this? Did you see
Sure
this?
did.
Did
Yeah.
you catch this? What fucking field are they practicing on? Is that a Desert Storm themed field? What is that turf and why? It literally looks
Oh.
like turf that is designed to look like it hasn't been watered since fucking
does.
Vietnam. Like, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, so they said after their practice today that he was limping considerably more than he was yesterday. So I just don't see him. I don't
So
see him
Tyler
playing on
Huntley?
Sunday.
Or are we going to get a Joe
Yep.
Johnson show?
I
Or
think
Josh
you
Johnson?
get Huntley back. He's off
Okay.
the. He's.
I'm
off
taking the
Veterans
Rams.
Reserve list.
I don't know where you guys fall on this line.
Okay, interrupting Ingrid. Yes, I will be taking the Rams.
Yeah,
but,
I like LA in this game.
I prefer Irving.
Real quick about Josh Johnson, though. If he's available next year, I would sign him as a backup.
Absolutely, he played very well Sunday.
Twice. He's played very well for the Jets and for the Ravens.
Yeah.
He's not he's a serviceable backup.
Sure.
Maybe better than, at least put him on the team and let him compete against Brandon Allen.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I think he is much more serviceable than Brandon Allen is
At least let them
currently.
compete and let one of them prove that they're better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't necessarily. It's like a 2A and 2B kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not.
Yeah,
One's not like,
Bring him back.
wow, he is way better. Then if that was the case, he should be starting for another NFL team like that.
right. Yeah, let him come back to the Bengals one more time. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, he knows his way around PBS.
He absolutely does.
All right, next game we got on the board. We got Tom Brady and the Bucks headed up to New York to take on the Jets.
Yeah, I'm surprised this isn't the biggest spread of the week.
Should be.
Yeah, I think this is going to be another pretty easy call going with the Bucks in this one.
Yep.
Fighting for that number one seed. The NFC race is pretty tight up at the top there with the Bucks, the Cowboys, and the Packers. Don't forget about the Cardinals as well. So it's a mix for that first round bye, which is huge.
Yep.
All right, we got Matty Ice and the Falcons headed to Buffalo, take on Josh Allen.
This spread is actually larger than the Jets Buccaneers spread, by the way. It's a half point larger, but it's a bigger spread.
So it's because the Bills are at home and the Buccaneers are heading to New York to take on the Jets.
Right.
So that probably that's a little bit of insight there for you fellow degenerates. That said, I'm hammering the Buffalo Bills money line in this one and just taking the easy money.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that's
also
a tough one.
For what it's worth, Tom Brady said that he would like to toss the Lombardi Trophy overhand this time rather than underhand.
It's very admirable of him. So did you guys catch the press conference, or at least see the clip of the press conference, Bill Belichick after the Bills game, where a lady asked him, "Hey, Bill, just for your fans and anyone following, do you have any New Year's resolutions that you'd like to share for this time? At this time, not at this time." And that was it.
Maybe next week.
Bravest woman on the planet asking that. And
that was funny.
Tom Brady said that his New Year's resolution would be to be able to ask Bill Belichick that after a loss. So indicating that he wants to beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Fair enough. All right. Well, this game hits a little close to home for you Bengals fans.
Yeah.
Chiefs coming into town. Take on Joseph Burrow and that hot offense in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Give your takes.
You want it first stab at it there, got y'all?
Sure. So, outside of any real true opinion, or any facts, I am taking the Bengals this week, and that is a 110% homer pick. There is nothing statistically that says that I should be taking the Bengals, but
I'm going to tell you why you're wrong about that here in a second.
Okay. But deep down in my heart, they're at home. This is a huge game. This is your clinching game. Kansas City gets in no matter what, right? Like they're getting into the playoffs. Yeah. So Cincinnati has, again, they're carrying the Joe Burrow chip on their shoulder, and there's a lot to prove in this game. And if they can pull a W out against Kansas City, especially playing them at Paul Brown, that is huge for the city. So I'm taking the Bengals.
No, I like the motivation there. I think Cincinnati does have more to play for. Obviously, the Chiefs are already in. They do have a 1 game up on the Titans, who have to take on the tough Dolphins, and we'll get into that one a little bit later. So I think the Chiefs don't necessarily have much of a fire lit under them as the Bengals do currently. I can appreciate the Joe Burrow kind of chip on the shoulder, his ability to perform well in games that matter, which we haven't really gotten to see in the NFL yet, which is exciting that we're going to start seeing Joe Burrow in that capacity. Couple of notes on the injury side for the Bengals real quick. Logan Wilson, who was feared to have been lost for the entire of the regular season at the time of his injury, has been a full participant in practice for 2 consecutive days, lining up to be a starter on Sunday against the Chiefs, which is huge as the leading tackler on the Bengals. One note, Jermaine Pratt, who over the last couple of weeks has been coming on strong as a very, very, very good well improved player over the last couple of years, made a big step this year so far. Jermaine Pratt on the COVID injured reserve list. Needs a positive test today or tomorrow if he's going to be able to play under the new policy. I believe that's what I've read. And with all of these changes, it's hard to know exactly, but I believe he needs a positive test today or tomorrow in order to be able to play. So that's the injury front. DJ Reader, I believe we took him off COVID. No. I don't think the Bengals have taken him off the list yet, but DJ Reader could be back in for the game, which would be huge as well.
That'd be huge too.
So I am taking the Bengals only for one reason. Because the Chiefs have won 8 in a row. The Bengals have won 2 in a row. It is a lot harder to win 9 in a row than 3 in a row. The gambler in me says take the team that isn't trying to win their 9th straight, right? If you're playing roulette and it's black, 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 black 8 times in a row, bet red. And you know what? If the Chiefs don't lose this week, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to double down on who they're playing the week next. And then I'm going to double down on who they're playing the week after that until I hit, because it will hit. Because I'm very confident the Chiefs will not win every single game from here on out till the Super Bowl. Put it down right now. It's being recorded live. They'll win at least one or lose at least one more game. And I'm betting on it being this week, and that the Bengals go for 3 in a row and the Chiefs do not get that 9th straight win.
Well, for the sake of being different, I've got to climb out of the cellar. I think the Bengals have a good chance to win this football game, but I'm going to take the Chiefs.
No, and I think it's a really wise bet. Vegas agrees with you, so I don't think you're really going out on a limb. You're getting the advantage off of 2 homers right here.
I am. I'm playing that card.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll take it though. I'll take it. I need a little charity at this point to climb back in 4 games back. So
if the Chiefs were 15-0, I would still pick the Bengals.
Odds would say that you should pick the Bengals, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, the odds say that you should pick the Bengals. If the Chiefs were 15-0, yeah, take the Bengals. They're 8-0 in their last 8. I'm taking the Bengals because they just odds say they're gonna fucking lose. Like, it's the NFL.
Fair enough. All right, moving on. We have the absolutely scorching hot Miami Dolphins. Lost their first 7 games of the season. They have won their last 7 games that they have played.
So they won the first game and then lost.
They lost 7 in a row. Yeah. And then they won 7 in a row. Only team in NFL history to ever do that.
It's insane.
On the road versus the Titans. It's gonna be a good game.
I already know who Todd's taking.
Absolutely.
I'm taking the Dolphins.
I absolutely am taking the Dolphins.
I love it. I love it because for the same reason I'm taking the Bengals, I'm taking the Titans. The Dolphins are destined to lose a game. And if they don't lose this week, I'm going to take whoever
double down on it next week. We know.
Exactly. Right? Exactly.
Look, my thought is very similar to Cincinnati, that Miami is fighting to get into the playoffs. And truth be told, I think that they're the hottest team in football right now.
Tua is playing some great football.
And so is Jalen Waddle. And you have Devontae Parker back at 110% healthy. Gesicki's playing well. There's just that Waddle to connection right now is huge for Miami. And now give it
almost
to him.
As if it's Alabama.
And look, I sincerely doubt that Tua is in a Dolphins uniform next year. I believe he's somewhere else.
Really?
Next year. Yeah, with the amount of moves that are going to happen at the quarterback position, I imagine that Tua is going to be a part of that.
Interesting. Any landing spots that you, off the top of your head, think?
Houston or Las Vegas.
Those are my two. Is Carr's contract up?
No, but I believe that Derek Carr will be the next starter of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll talk about that on another episode. But
please, God, yes.
Yeah, so that is my projection, is that he will be a Steeler next year.
Okay. Oh, that's just...
Yeah. We'll need to pin that right there.
Ooh,
so we can
we
can talk about that.
Yeah. Sounds so nice.
Speaking of Derek Carr, the Raiders are on the road this week versus the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go with the Colts in this one. Proving to be a better team, especially in this second half of the season so far. Leaning on JT. You know, the Raiders necessarily aren't a great rush defense team. They're a great pass rush team, though. They can get to Carson Wentz in a hurry. But in terms of stopping the run, the Raiders necessarily aren't one of the better teams in the NFL. You saw what the Bengals were able to do with them on the ground. I look for the Colts to kind of follow that same game plan. The dam will eventually break. JT will bust out. And I'm going to go with the Colts in this one.
So I also am picking the Colts, but I think for me, this is my my least confident game, because it is more than likely that Carson Wentz will not play. But I still believe that Jonathan Taylor as the running back for the Colts is better than Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs on the offensive side against the Colts defense. So Sam Ehlinger will be making his first career start. Hookem, former Longhorn, if Carson Wentz is unable to play. But I feel more confident in the Colts defense than I do in the that Las Vegas offense.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm taking the Colts as well. I like Jonathan Taylor against this. I think it's a good matchup for him. I think he runs all over him. So
it's a horseshoe sweep. Shout out Josh Wheeler.
If Joe Mixon can do it, Jonathan Taylor can go in there and light him up as well.
Whoa! If Joe Mixon can do it, Jonathan Taylor can. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, Jonathan Taylor's better than Joe Mixon. We all know that.
Interesting. I'd be curious to see what Joe Mixon could do with that Colts offensive line, but I digress.
Yeah. Conversation for another day. Next matchup
we'll pin that with the Derek Carr conversation.
Yeah.
Put it right there.
Just all right, fight night.
We've got the Philadelphia Eagles headed a little bit east over to the nation's capital to take on the football team. I don't like this game.
It's they're south. Washington D.C. is southwest of Philadelphia.
It's true.
Get a fucking map.
I didn't want to.
How is Philadelphia southwest of?
No. Washington D.C. is southwest of Philadelphia.
How is it southwest?
Pennsylvania is up here.
Maryland is south of Pennsylvania.
Geography. Hold on. Let's look here.
You jackalope. Pull up a map right now. I'm ready for the light bulb to click.
I'm doing it right now.
I'm ready for the light bulb.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 7 hours from here.
This is going to be great.
Well, for two of the three of us, the Fairfield Public School education didn't turn out too bad. But
what was his name? Mr.
Wow. I was way wrong.
Yeah, dude, it's right next to Virginia, bro. Come on.
I didn't realize Philly was all the way.
It's right there. It's right next to Jersey.
Wow, yeah, I didn't realize Philly was that far.
Philly is just south east. New Jersey.
Why do you think Philly sports fans are so awful? They're just cloaked New Jerseyans.
I didn't think it was that
all
far
of
from
Eastern
Pittsburgh.
Pennsylvania.
I was way wrong.
Is that?
I'm sorry for my lack of Pennsylvania geography.
It's okay. That's why we're here,
buddy. Yeah.
I may not be as smart, man.
But I know what sports is. Jenny.
All right. So the Eagles are heading southwest.
To the DMV.
Bobby is right. This is a very unconfident pick.
What's the spread on it?
3. Washington 3.
Washington -3.
Or no, Philadelphia -3. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm still taking the Eagles.
Why?
He
doesn't know.
That's just what Vegas tells me to do. So I'm kind of going with Vegas odds right there. I don't have any firm logic. I just think that they're playing for their playoff spot, so they have a little bit more to prove than Washington does. Washington's just kind of a slump or a bracket buster at this point.
Yeah, and I think the way Washington lost last week really gives is kind of a big blow to the confidence of the team and the way they're going to move into this week. And I think Philly, like you said, has a lot more to play for. They're fighting.
That Cowboys game was a slaughter fest. That was awful.
Yeah, it was just not good, and pretty much eliminated them from any serious contention, barring a collapse of 3 teams atop them right now. And I'm going Philly.
I am going to take the football team at home.
I love it.
I don't have any logic behind it. They're at home. The spread.
Your logic is that you need to cover ground on us.
I need to be different.
Bobby,
so
that's just what you got to do.
Dare to be different.
All right.
Maybe
We've
it's
got
Maybelline.
I don't know if there's still the
God, I
was
saw
there-
that chuckle.
I don't know if there's still fraudulent enemy number one, but we've got the Broncos on the road versus the Chargers.
You know, I'm not sure that they really are fraudulent enemy number one anymore. It might be the Cardinals. It really might be the Cardinals. I
Could be.
mean,
Well, I think that you could argue that the Chargers are close to that fraudulent enemy number one
I
position.
mean,
I was going to say that.
the way the Texans went after them last week, you could make that assumption, but I need to see it multiple times, right?
Right.
I've seen
That's
it
fair.
multiple times out of the Cardinals. Like they got beat, like they got their asses beat by the Rams, and then they lost to the goddamn Lions.
That's a tough L. I know it. So,
You tied them.
well, that's an L. Let's be real.
True. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. You guys go ahead first. I have no idea. Actually,
Dude,
I'm taking the Chargers. Fuck that. I know.
Yeah,
I'm taking the Chargers.
I'm taking the home. That's what I'm taking a home team. I'm not confident enough in either team, but I'm just going to take the home team.
Yeah.
Yep. Side note: Justin Jackson played out of his mind last week for the Chargers. So that Eckler's back this week. That combo is surprisingly good.
Yeah.
For the Chargers. I'm very interested to see, because this was Josh Jackson's first real kind of test to be RB1, and he played very well. He caught the ball very well out of the backfield, which is something Austin Eckler does very well too. But
I'm going to take a quick break, and Corey's going to get into his last beer of the Christmas pack.
This is it. This is the last December, and it's a doozy, boys. If I start slurring by the end of these picks, you'll know why. This is a Doppelbock Dunkel, which I'm assuming is like a double Bock. A Dunkel is a darker German beer if you've ever been to Hofbrauhaus. It's a 7.5% beer, hailing from the astute village known as Grosskronbach, Germany. Everyone is very familiar with exactly where that is specifically.
That's where you make double. That's a double-barrel dark beer.
I would say that's on the. I'd say that's on the northwestern side of Germany.
Can we look this up right now?
Complete shot in the dark. What's the city called?
All right.
I'm interested now.
All right, we got to figure this out. All right, here we go. Gross.
Hold on.
Like gross.
Gross.
KO double L N
BACH.
Yep. Where is it? If it's Northwest Germany, I'm gonna flip out.
Yeah, shotgun that whole dark beer.
Not happening. There's 0% chance that happens.
I was correct on the western portion, but it is southwestern.
Southwestern Germany. So getting into the Czech Republic area there, if I'm not Austria. I'm sorry, Austria.
Yeah, borders. Close to Austria. Probably about a half-hour drive.
Half hour. I love it. Love it.
It's probably about an hour from Munich.
That was for you.
It's that by car or train.
So, if you guys were wondering, it's by bicycle. If you were wondering, the cheapest flights, if you're looking to get into Europe, one of the cheaper flights into Europe is Frankfurt, Germany, actually.
Makes sense.
Yeah. All right,
it's actually a pretty big airport, believe it or not. Fun fact.
And it's one of the larger. There's direct flights from Detroit to Frankfurt. So if you guys, I mean, if the Bengals play in Germany in a couple of years, I don't know.
I still have over a dozen family members scattered about the German land, primarily in a town called Ingolstadt.
Yeah, we're going there for sure.
Which is fairly close to Frankfurt. So
Deal.
I had some family that went out there to see them. And
sounds like we have family there.
Yeah, I've never got to. That's my bucket list, is to get out there and spend some time out there.
Yeah,
me too. Now,
that's awesome, man. Yeah, we're all in this together. Tom, Todd, I missed your pick. Did you pick the Chargers as well?
I didn't pick, but
Oh.
yes, I will pick the Chargers.
All right, fantastic. Next game on the board, we have the Houston Texans on the road, heading out to the West Coast, take on the 49ers. Pretty confident that's West this time, guys.
You're accurate there.
I share a quadrant of desks with a diehard 49ers fan.
Robbie Brinkner.
Close. Similar. Except this guy is actually from the Bay Area and holds flags of every Bay Area team that you could think of.
Good for him.
Did you talk to him about Steph and what he thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, this guy, when I even started talking about the Warriors, I mean, again, this is my second week, but just when I said something about him breaking Ray Allen's record, and again, I work for an electronics and computer company, and he said, "Oh, you know who Steph Curry is?" That's how.
You're like, I found my guy.
How excited he was.
We're gonna go to lunch together often, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You found your work, Bay.
Yeah. And, we were talking about the 49ers, and told him I was a Bengals fan, and we talked about that game and how things kind of ended up pulling into San Francisco's direction based on a couple of calls. And I asked him what he thought about this game. And I said, hey, I do a podcast. I'm going to pick why pick the 49ers. And he said, without Jimmy Garoppolo, he believes that Deebo Samuel is better.
Whoa.
I'd like to see the stats on that.
Why?
So he said that he feels, again, this is pure fan opinion. He feels that Trey Lance and Deebo Samuel have a better connection than Jimmy Garoppolo and Deebo Samuel, just based on their on-field chemistry.
Interesting.
And that one play, I'm pretty sure, where he threw to Deebo for like 60 yards.
Is Trey Lance getting started this week?
Yeah, Jimmy's out. He's got a torn UCL in his right thumb and a fracture, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. He might be out for a while, which is great for my Dynasty fantasy team. Going to get some solid Trey Lance minutes here.
I'm going with Leonard, or whatever his name is. Taking the 49ers.
You're going with Davis Mills? Oh, no, he's out, right?
No, I was just trying to guess the name of Todd's coworker.
Oh,
you know what?
That's interesting.
I don't know what his name is. I have no idea.
Todd.
Sorry. Look, man, I've met so many people.
Doesn't he wear a fucking name tag?
No, there's no name tags. There's badges.
Does he have a badge? Yeah, look at his badge.
What?
That would mean
the one guy you struck up a conversation with.
You share a desk with him.
Well, it's a quadrant, and he's just on the opposite side of the quadrant. I mean,
you look at his face you see him more than your wife.
Right, but I don't see his name plaque that's on the other side of it. I never have to walk that way.
Well, then you need to find an excuse to walk by and figure it out so we can
drop your
come
pen.
over and I'm just gonna walk over there and look at his name plaque, and I'm just gonna rub my hand over it, and that's how I'm gonna remember it. I want to say that his name is Rick or Rich.
Either one works because Rick is short for Rich.
Yeah. So
just call him
I'm
Dick.
just gonna start. I'm gonna go Rich. And see how he responds.
Rich. Hey, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Just kind of fall off at the end. Hey, Rick.
Yeah. And he is a huge San Jose Sharks fan, which I found fascinating.
It is fascinating. Rob Blake from the Bowling Green State University.
All right. Well, no, outside of that, I'm taking the 49ers. I just think they're the better team.
Oof.
Yeah. I like Bobby's name of him being called Leonard better. I think I'm just going to start calling him Leonard.
Just call him a new name every day, I think, is what you really need to do.
Yeah.
Hey, Thomas. Dude, my name is Darnell. Like, fuck off, bro.
Shit, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm hard-pressed to take the Texans to win 2 in a row, so I'm going to go with the 49ers.
So who's going to start for Houston?
I'm pretty sure David Carr is coming back, and he's going to make a solid play.
That man had more concussions than Aikman. There's no way he's coming back.
I have no idea, but does it really matter? Does it matter who's playing for them? Like, unless it's Deshaun Watson, I don't really care.
Well, that's my point. I gotta look.
Like, is it really going to affect your pick?
No, but it
All right.
affects my
Next.
brain being able to not think about it.
Okay, Todd took the 49ers. Next, we have Corey's current hometown, the Detroit Lions,
Corey, you should be excited about
taking on the Seahawks.
It's Jeff Driscoll.
Oh, Jeff Driscoll.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm
Lions
surprised
on the
he's
road.
been in the league this long, actually.
Yeah. Did he not go? I thought he went to Florida.
He did. Yeah, no, he's a Gator.
And then he transferred though, right?
That I don't know. That I don't
And
know.
for some reason, I thought that he was like on Louisiana Tech or something like that. But maybe I'm wrong.
Right.
Okay. Sorry. Moving on. I apologize. I derailed there.
It's okay.
All good. Yeah, we've got the Lions on the road in Seattle.
See, Seattle just dropped one at home there to the Bears, and I think I'm gonna have to go with the Lions again. I'm gonna go with them again. I'm gonna take them to win, and they're playing hard, and good for them. Go Lions! There's not much I have a lot to say about this game other than go Lions.
So I will not follow Corey's home team pick there. I'm going to take Seattle. But this could go either
Your own
way.
grave.
I'm actually going to. I guess I'm going to follow suit for one of you. I'm taking Detroit.
There he is.
Detroit. Reason being, Todd, you've got the lead. You're the guy I need to catch games up on. So,
well, Detroit is the official NFC team of Rally Towel. So
That was a
there's literally no other NFC team that we really cover as hard as
That's
we
true.
cover the Lions.
That's true.
Our next logo is just gonna be all Honolulu blue.
I like it.
Yeah.
hell yeah. All right. Potential candidate for fraudulent enemy number one. The Arizona Cardinals
Mm-hmm.
on the road, playing America's team. Don't know why they're called that, but that's just what they're called.
It's the Dallas Cowboys. It's America's team. They don't question it.
Yeah, stop questioning it.
Jerry Jones is because he's never going to die because he has so much money that he's basically intrinsically embalmed himself.
Because there's nothing more American than a state that threatens secession every 4 years.
Yeah.
Nothing more American.
Remember the Alamo? Give me the Cowboys.
Do it. Yeah, I'm with you on that one for real. I actually just, it's it'll be January, I guess, when they play. But
What's going on with the Cardinals? Why do you think
you don't trust them? You don't. When games start to matter, just stop trusting the Cardinals. I'm serious.
I'll quote Corey and say, after November, you don't pick the Cardinals to win.
You don't bet on them. You just
how many
don't.
games have they lost in a row now?
Well, they didn't lose
They've
last
lost
week,
4.
did they?
No, they've lost 4 of their last 5 though.
Yeah. Well, and a couple of those were without.
They lost the Colts.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So yeah, that's 3 in a row.
All right, I'm gonna go with Corey's strategy and play the odds here.
They lost 3 of their last 4.
There you go. So you're taking the Cardinals.
Taking the Cardinals.
I mean, the entire city of Green Bay, Wisconsin, Tampa Bay, Florida, they have all rejoiced if that happens because it just makes it a two dog race versus 3 for that number 1 seed because the Cowboys are still vying for that. So.
Yep. So you guys got the Cowboys. I got the Cardinals. Next game, we've got the Carolina Panthers on the road versus the Saints.
Yeah, and Carolina might be one of the worst teams in football at this point, and firing their offensive coordinator, doing a 2-quarterback scheme as if this is the 2006 Florida Gators. It's just really embarrassing. I don't understand what the scheme there is. I feel for Panthers fans, and I don't know where they're what is their direction? What are they gonna do? Because they gave up capital to go get Sam Darnold, and I'm sorry, he's just not it. And then you're gonna let Cam Newton manage 20% of the snaps on offense. I don't understand that. Um, so all things considered, I'm going with the Saints, who just have a better record this year. They've played better football, so I'm going with the Saints.
I'm also going to pick the Saints, but I just want to read a quote from ESPN here about what Sam Darnold said about him and Cam Newton. They are, quote, cool with each other.
Good. Cool.
That's it. That's all he said.
Yeah, we're cool with each other because, like, Sam Darnold's scared of Cam Newton. That's what that is.
Well, yeah. Who wants to? Here's the thing. Can you imagine going over film with that guy?
I honestly couldn't imagine doing most things with him. Any human being that shows up to a meeting or an organized event with feathers in his head in some fashion, or wearing in like just clothing in a weird way, you immediately got me. You like if you want to punk me the fuck out, just show up wearing some outlandish shit and challenge me to a fight. I'm not going to do it because you know why? I'm going to look at you and I'm going to make a business decision and say this motherfucker is crazy. This motherfucker is crazy. He has nothing to lose. If he had something to lose, he wouldn't be looking like that. I'm not fighting him. I'm not doing it. So Cam Newton
making a business decision
terrifies me.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm taking the Saints as well. Panthers are nothing without Christian McCaffrey. So
I just like that's Sam Darnold's quote. We're cool with each other.
We are cool with each other. Like that's how he said it. Sam Darnold is whiter than Wonder Bread.
Yeah, that is the privileged California boy way of saying, I just don't talk to him.
We have acknowledged each other as human beings.
Yep, that's it. We're on the roster together, and he somehow gets paid almost as much money as I do this year.
All right, we got the Minnesota Vikings NFC divisional matchup. We got the Vikings on the road in Lambeau.
Yeah, is this Sunday Night Football?
It is.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football in Lambeau. Packers fighting for that number 1 overall seed there in the NFC. I got to go with Aaron Rodgers in primetime. I'm going Pack.
Yeah I've never. That's a smart move. You never bet against Aaron Rodgers in primetime.
Nah.
I mean, technically, you should just never bet against Aaron Rodgers. He wins more than he loses, unless it's like an NFC Championship game, and then you can bet against Aaron Rodgers.
Right. That's when the gloves come off.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Want to wrap up the week. We've got an AFC North divisional matchup. We got the Cleveland Browns, huge game. Cleveland Browns headed to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers.
So neither team can be in first place. In fact, if the Ravens win, and then regardless of the outcome of this game and the Bengals lose, the Bengals are still in first place in the AFC North. So regardless of the outcome of this game and the Ravens beat the Rams, the Bengals are still in first place. But I think that's the case. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Nonetheless, the reason why this game is huge is because the team that loses is done. They are out. They are not going to win the division. And I think the Steelers, with that tie, could potentially be eliminated from playoff contention, if I'm not mistaken. So
that's correct. If they lose on Monday night, they will be completely out of playoff contention.
Okay, so much bigger game for the Steelers. Bobby, I'm really curious in your perspective going into this matchup here.
I mean, their backs are against the wall, right?
Both teams, really. I mean, you've got a potential regime change at quarterback brewing in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield's wife taking to social media, making I don't want to say
she's crazy.
It's not false. I don't want to say they're false accusations, but there's no backing to these accusations that she's made that they've received death threats. She's merely mentioned that they have received death threats. No one's seen the death threats or anything like that, but that the Mayfields are under fire in Cleveland, and Browns fans need to be better and we're all people and all of this thing. But she is just a social media pariah. So I don't
She
know.
is. Reminds me of Matt Latos' ex-wife when he
What
was in Cincinnati.
was her name?
Dallas,
Dallas?
Dallas Latos.
There she is.
Yes.
Just an Ed Hardy wearing fucking Marlboro menthol smoking, just beautiful woman.
Yeah. What a perfect description of her.
Yeah, Marlboro menthols.
That was
Ed Hardy T-shirts. No, excuse me. Affliction T-shirts and Ed Hardy jeans. That's her.
She's more. I think she's more of a Marlboro Smooth gal, but we're on the same page.
Ooh, excellent.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bobby's
but
like,
no,
it's Greek to me.
to answer your question, Corey, this is potentially Ben Roethlisberger's last home game in Heinz Field.
I think likely his last home game in Heinz Field.
Yeah,
at least as quarterback.
I would err on the side of probably more than likely, but potentially. With that being said, I'm taking the Steelers. I don't see like Ben. He's gonna have a good game. He's got to have a good game to finish it out in Heinz Field. He just has to. If he doesn't, it's just going to be an embarrassing exit from his Steelers tenure. So they have to play well.
TJ Watt playing?
As far as I know, he's playing. I haven't heard otherwise.
Okay. Bud Dupree's playing?
Don't know.
Okay. Todd?
Is Bud Dupree even still on the Steelers?
He's not.
I thought. No, I'm sorry,
No.
he's not. No, where is he at now?
That's why I was a little confused. I was like, I don't know. I had to think about this. I was like, wait.
No, I thought.
No, he's not. He's not there.
Never mind. My brain fart. Sorry. I meant. Shit. Who's the? Never mind. Yeah, just go ahead and disregard that.
Did you mean Chris Spillane?
No,
he's playing.
No, Cameron Hayward, is he playing?
He's supposed to.
Okay.
Bud Dupree is on the Tennessee Titans.
Titans. They just played the Titans. That's why that was popping into my head. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I honestly did not know that Bud Dupree was not on the Steelers until like week 7. Actually, somewhere around there, because I was like, "Where the fuck's Bud Dupree?" Bobby's like, "He doesn't play for Pittsburgh anymore."
Todd, I'm interested in your thoughts on this matchup.
Sure. Look, I think for a lot of similar reasons to what Bobby said, but also because of the amount of dividance within Cleveland's locker room, I'm taking the Steelers. Baker's not. I honestly, I don't know if Baker's even going to start on Monday. And if he does start, I think one interception and he gets pulled. And I think for kind of like what Bobby said, I think Big Ben just has one more just not crazy game, just one more good game. Chase Claypool plays well for him. Najee Harris runs the ball well in the backfield, and that's it. And then the Steelers win by like 3 on a last-second field goal by Chris Boswell, and it's a beautiful thing.
So yeah, Chase. I don't even think Chase Claypool is the best wide receiver on the Steelers. I think it's Deontay Johnson. I think he's clearly the better wide receiver of the two.
Yeah.
That being said, we've talked. You guys have mentioned a lot of like not football related things. Well, they're football related, but not like statistic related things. Like you've talked about, like, this is Ben's last game, and he's got one more in him, and win one for the Gipper kind of thing. Well, I'm gonna do that, but on the flip side, what is something that we've repeatedly talked about in terms of Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns this seasons past? They go out and they look good, and then they get embarrassed, and then the media talks shit about them, and then they come back and win, and then they're like, fuck you, media, we're really good. They beat somebody they shouldn't, and then they get embarrassed. And it's like a cycle of them like going around and around and around. They've been too far down on this downswing for a little bit. They need a little bit of an upswing. Other than that, I think while Najee Harris is a better rusher individual in terms of yardage. He has a lot. He's one of the top yardage guys. Nick Chubb is also right up there, and D'Ernest Johnson is a very very good number two. Jarvis Landry, I think he's equally as good as at least Chase Claypool. So the Browns
That's
do
fair.
have the Browns do have some pieces. I think a banged up Baker is kind of equal to Ben at this point. So then you look at the defense. I think generally speaking, my it's hard to say. I think T.J. Watt is very very good. Miles Garrett might just be like a little bit lower than T.J. Watt. And then the complementary pieces, it's very 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 equal matchup across the defensive side of the ball. And when you're looking at player versus player, um, all these things considered, I just think the Browns are gonna win and continue my uh, desire, or rather my demise and strain on the season of them lingering around. They're lingerers. Because like if the Bengals lose and the Browns win, AFC North isn't wrapped up yet. We got to win one more
Right.
game, and
And oh, by the way, it's against Cleveland.
right. So it would be a literal AFC North championship game in Week 18 in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So it's too artistic for it to not be that way.
All right, well that wraps it up. We've got quite a few picks that were split on this week. Obviously, there's going to be this week. I mean, it's either the make or break for me. I'm either going to seal my fate or climb back in and make it interesting.
Well, yeah,
So,
but at the same time, I think you're going to get a lot of this in Week 18 as well. There's going to be a lot of these games where things are just. It's been a really wild NFL season, hasn't it, guys? Like it's been crazy.
Yes.
lots of ups and downs for a lot of teams.
Well, there's been a lot of picks that we have all three agreed on, and that we've all three been wrong, right? And I think that's the true testament to how unique this season has been. And I think COVID presents a lot of unique challenges within itself, but it's just outside of that. Even there's just been so many weeks where good teams lose to bad teams.
Yeah.
And it just comes out of left field.
Yeah, and I think the fact that the AFC particularly, we only have 2 weeks left of NFL football, and the AFC only has one playoff spot that has been decided. On the flip side, the NFC has 5 of the 7 slots decided, at least claimed. Right. The order of those slots has not been decided, neither for the AFC, obviously, but it's wild, man. It's absolutely
there's a lot of the line
so much
last 2
fun.
weeks of football.
This is why when anyone comes to me and says, I just like college football better, it's like I can't talk to you anymore. Like stop. Like you're just stupid then. Like it's like, you know what? I do prefer the bargain brand over Charmin. It's like, really? You like pain in your asshole? Is that what you like? That you prefer?
You love wiping your ass with Tree Branch?
Just fucking 60th grade 3M fucking sandpaper? Is that what you like? You fucking crazy person. So yeah, I mean the NFL is it's awesome. It is the best product in sports, and it continues to prove that year after year. And this year is not an exception. But we're over an hour, but I kind of want to get into it, man. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. Maybe if we have any resolutions, we can share those. But before we get into that, we got 2 massive college football games tomorrow. The first of which we'll get started with, man, 3:30. I plan on having a solid buzz at about 2 o'clock tomorrow. The Cincinnati Bearcats in Dallas, Texas, taking on the Alabama Crimson Tide in the Cotton Bowl, the first college football playoff game of the season. Boys, is there any way the Bearcats can upset the Alabama Crimson Tide?
They just have to keep scoring. That's it. Okay.
I actually believe the other way.
Really?
I think that Cincinnati's defense is literally just good enough, and their secondary is just good enough that they can actually maintain Bryce Young. because that's the real kicker. Is that Bryce Young is a kind of like the one-man show of Alabama's offense. And that's not to say that they don't have weapons, but in college football, on the contrary to the NFL, your quarterback can be 70% of your offense. And Bryce Young is exactly that. He is 70% of Alabama's offense. And I think the one thing that Cincinnati has on the offensive side of the ball that's different than Alabama is Desmond Ridder. And Desmond Ridder carries really just real legitimate tenure in college football. And he's played in the big games for UC, right? Not saying that he's played at anything of this level, but he's been through the big games of UC for the last 3 years.
Yeah. Nothing really, like really this. Successful. He has never played in a game like this before.
No, but he's been successful, right? And I think that while I'm not going to compare Nick Saban and Luke Fickell. That's not fair to Luke Fickell.
No, it's not fair to Nick Saban.
No. But Luke Fickell will come out with a really strong plan, right? He's gonna have these guys ready to play. And just from the articles I've read and just trying to follow as closely as I can for this game for UC, they are fucking hungry. And I mean, they're not talking to anybody. There is no communication inside that team. There's no media, there's no Twitter, nothing. They are silent and they are focused. And when you play a game like this, when they're in the position that they're in, is the only mid-major to be in the college football playoffs ever in this existence, they are handling this like real, true professionals. And I think that's a big testament to Luke Fickell.
It is. Absolutely.
This game will be much closer than people think.
I'm hammering UC to cover. 13.5 is too much in my opinion. And you kind of hinted on it. Listen, Cincinnati allows less than 200 yards passing on average every game. They allow less than 200. No one in college football does that. You could argue that they have the best secondary in college football.
Yeah, they have two of the best three quarterbacks going into the NFL draft.
Two cornerbacks are going to be drafted in the first 4 rounds. Like that's I'm sorry, that's really good. One of which will be drafted within the first 20 picks, guaranteed.
Right.
Sauce Gardner will go. Maybe, potentially. We'll see. I'd like an offensive lineman as well, but we'll see what happens. But I just think the best part of Alabama's game is their passing game, and the best part of Cincinnati's game is their defensive, scheme around passing attack, their pass defense. And when you look at these big games, the age-old tale, defense wins championships. If Alabama can't throw the ball, I look for Cincinnati to be able to hang with them, and the longer they can hang with them, the more that they have a chance to actually pull that out in the end. What you're going to look for is right in the beginning of that third quarter. How does that tone coming out of the locker room? I don't envision it being a blowout in the first half. I envision maybe Cincinnati's down 7, maybe down 10. How does it start when they come out? After each team gets one drive, so like midway through the third quarter, really, what does it look like? What's the tone there? That's going to tell you who's going to come out on top. And if Alabama's just doing Alabama and they're rolling, and we've seen this movie before, okay, yeah, we get it. But if Cincinnati can hang right in there, maybe come in maybe 3 down at halftime, and really set the tone in the second half and shut down that pass game, they could shock the world, and that's their motto right now. And obviously rooting for it. I don't know if I'm betting on it, but obviously rooting for it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. 3:30 tomorrow on ESPN, and then probably one of the most coin flip games that we've had in a long time. Michigan and Georgia. I am jacked up for this game. I cannot wait for this game. It's going to be such a fun competition. I'm interested in your guys' thoughts.
Yeah, look, I think the big thing for Michigan is establishing their ground game immediately.
Similar to what they did against Ohio State, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So I think that if you can establish the misdirection and get the run game going quickly, because Georgia statistically has the best defense in college football.
19 points per game. That's insane.
Yeah, that's a fact. That is a statistical fact. They're the best defense in college football.
Correct.
On the flip side, Michigan has a top 5 ground game.
Yep.
Where that is really the smallest of the chinks in Georgia's armor, is that they are on a little bit of a higher side, and then by the higher side, I mean they're only giving up like 85 yards a game on the ground in college football, which is crazy. But Michigan's got a tandem of really good young running backs, and they have the ability to create misdirection, and that's what helped them in Ohio State. They ran a lot of misdirection. They got the front seven on their toes, and they were able to score fast and hard immediately. So, although I don't think Michigan will pull it off, I think Georgia wins this game. I think that this is a game that goes down to the very end. I'm talking like game-winning field goal.
Almost like Oklahoma, Georgia a few years ago.
Yep, exactly like that.
Yeah.
I think if Michigan would stand a chance, Aiden Hutchinson has to get rolling early. He's got to be in the backfield.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know.
after
I don't know of any offensive lineman in college football that actually has a plan to be able to stop him. Seriously, because
he's pretty good.
He is between him and Thibodeau from Oregon. I'm scared for left and right tackles of the future for those two guys, and the NFL.
So, we've talked a lot about the players, and one thing that we haven't talked about is the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Kirby Smart for Georgia, John Harbaugh for Michigan. Both have a reputation of failing in the big game.
Yep.
Kirby Smart has done it multiple times, whether it be the SEC championship game, college football playoff. There have been multiple failures.
Yeah, he just did it 3 weeks ago, right?
Right.
Or a month ago.
It just happened against Alabama. They had the opportunity to eliminate Alabama from playoff contention by beating them. That said, there is a little conspiracy theorist in me that's saying we feel like they might get in anyway. Let's not show all our cards in case we meet them in the national championship game.
Sure.
Little bit of me thinks that, a little bit, not much, but so you look at Georgia and Kirby Smart. Every time the spotlight comes on them, they just seem to shrivel up and fail. John Harbaugh, historically speaking, has done a really, really bad job of beating top 10 teams. Except for this year. They've done it. And they've done it really, really well, other than Michigan State. And they've shown up in big moments and played well. I just feel like this is like Michigan's going to win this game. I just feel like they will. They run the ball very well, and they play solid defense. It's hard to bet against those two.
Yeah, you have.
Statistics.
I mean, they have two guys in the top 10 in sacks, and I can't. The linebacker's name's escaping me, but that dude has been in the backfield more than Aiden Hutchinson has. Right? That just think about that. The guy that is the second best edge rusher going into this draft has somebody that lines up directly behind him that's in the backfield more often than he is, and will also be a first round pick.
Sure.
Like this is a tall task for Georgia to be able to stop Michigan's defense. And I think you're right. I think Harbaugh historically has failed in the games where it's mattered the most, and that's what I'm saying. I think this game comes down to the last play. I don't think that this is one where. Yeah, this isn't one where you shut it off and you watch the New Year's Eve party, right? Like you watch this game to the last snap.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I don't know. Before we wrap it up tonight, guys, you got any specific New Year's resolutions that you're looking forward to, or anything in 2022 that you're especially excited for?
Well, Declan will be turning 1 at the end of March, so. Really, really excited to get the opportunity to give him his first birthday and all of the things that come with being a parent and seeing your child grow and create their own personality. But I really mean, I think I took a big first step for me in switching jobs and creating a better work life balance. And I'm finally going to get to do something that I've always wanted to do. And I mean, you guys are going to find I'm going to get to umpire baseball this spring and summer.
Hell yeah. Like father,
I've been
like
wanting to
son.
do that. Yeah, I've been wanting to do it for damn near a decade, and I finally get the opportunity to do it. So
Can't wait to
you
see
know,
you throw somebody out. I can't wait for it.
that's exactly. You're the third person that said that. I think everybody. I guess maybe it's going to happen.
I just can't wait for you to ring some kid up in the bottom of the ninth on a check swing.
You broke the wrist, Johnny. Sit the fuck down.
My dad gave me some really sound advice because I told him on Christmas that I was going to start doing this, and he looked me dead in the eye and he said, "You're going to be really bad at this when you start." And you're just going to have to understand that you got to take your lumps and you're going to make mistakes. So I'm really excited. I'm finally going to get the chance to get to be around baseball again when it's still fun for people and it's not a
job,
a task. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So pretty pumped for that.
That's awesome, man. How about you, Corey?
So yeah, I'm the most immediate thing that I can think of for 2022. We're going to Cabo in February.
Nice.
We will be there for the Super Bowl on an all-inclusive. So I'm excited about that. I think that'll be pretty fucking awesome. And hopefully I'll be watching the Bengals playing the Cowboys. That's the groom. The groom of the wedding we're going to is a Cowboys fan. So hopefully I can watch a groom cry after he's been married for 72 hours. It'll be a lot of fun. And just getting litty titty in Mexico. But I've never been to Mexico, so I'm excited about that for sure. What about you, Roboito?
Don't really have any big plans outside of going to Dallas in May for a convention for a bunch of nerds that play video games.
Hey, so. Dallas is the shit, man. I went there for a fraternity convention. It was awesome. Dallas is
Dallas is awesome.
Great town.
It's a good balance of professional and nightlife.
Yep.
And there's a lot of cool little neighborhoods within Dallas that you can spend just a few hours and you don't feel like you've wasted your day.
I got my picture behind the grassy knoll like this as well at Dealey Plaza.
There's also a fucking enormous eyeball that's near the middle of downtown Dallas. And you just got to get right next to it because you don't realize how big it is. You can actually see it.
That's what she said.
When you're
nice.
Touche. You can actually see it when you are flying in to where I'm assuming you're going to fly in.
Yeah.
When you're flying into Dallas Fort Worth, you can see the eyeball when you're descending into the airport, and you're like, "Oh, that's cool." And then you get next to it, and you're like, "Holy shit, this eyeball is like a block." So. It's fun. Dallas is fun, man. I cannot remember for the life of me what the little like hipster neighborhood is right next to downtown Dallas, but I had the best barbecue that I had when I was in that neighborhood.
Most excellent.
And that's what you go for. You go for Texas barbecue.
Hell yeah.
At least if you're me.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, a lot of things to look forward to in 2022. We got a lot to look forward to with you guys as well. Thank you so much for everything you've done for Rally Tail Sports, Line to Gain, and all that's included in that over this last year. As mentioned on Tuesday, we, as a community, have donated over close to $800 to different charities, to the Epilepsy Foundation, to the Wounded Warrior Project, and to the Covenant House of Michigan. And Bobby, you need to tell Mr. Charlie that he gets to pick the next foundation that we are going to be raising money for, as he was our largest donor to the Covenant House of Michigan. So hats off to Charlie Lehman for that, and appreciate his generosity there in helping us raise money and meet our goal for that. So with us just coming short of $1,000 in 2021, as we discussed Tuesday, I think 2022, $1,500. Let's raise $1,500 over the course of the year for different charities. Super Bowl squares, March Madness brackets, 50-50 splits with the charities and doing a little gambling on the side as well. I think that's a great way to have some fun and make an impact and continue this awesome tradition that, we get from Solace and Line to Gain and coming together here at Rally Top Sports, it's pretty awesome. So very thankful for both of you and for everybody that tunes in and can't wait to see where we can go over the next course of the year. So
Absolutely.
with that, we will send you off into the new year and bid you good night. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we will see you next year. And